Here we are. Week 5. Colts Ravens on the tube. Carson Wentz dropping back. Chucking dimes to my favorite Michael Pittman there. Gonna be in the roster by the end of the season. I firmly believe that. Erica, the producer, has just entered the domain. And we are ready to get rolling here, folks.
You want to touch on the breaking news that we just found out about?
The breaking news. What breaking news?
Oh,
Johnny G himself getting essentially Me Too, but just not a woman, out of the league. Social justicing with, for fair reason. The comments were not above par, but
Did you see what it said? Racist. It said homophobic, and it said misogynistic. All wrapped up in these emails.
Did he not just say one comment where he compared the man's lips to Michelin tires? That was the problematic one, was it not?
I don't know the details. I saw a bottom ticker that said all three of those.
Well, I feel like they're trying to heap a lot of trash on the man's head when I feel like the main thing that he said was that, like, Demaurice Smith's lips were as big as Michelin tires, and that was the big main problem.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of those emails.
Maybe that's what caused further probing into his other emails.
But can I say, well, yes, as that is, and I'm not even going to be careful here because I don't give a shit. Cancel me. Like, I have nothing to cancel. Go ahead. I'm not even on social media. I'm not even going to say anything bad here. But can I just say, like, if it's 10 years in the past, can we just say, like, hey, I fucked up. Let's keep it moving. Because obviously the man has many black players that have played for him, are playing for him. Have any of them raised any problems? Does he have problems with them personally?
That sounds a whole lot like the argument, I'm not racist because I have a black friend.
That's fair, but what I'm saying is like, the guy, like, is he running around throwing N-bombs to everybody? Is he, like, blacklisting his players because they're black? Pardon the, like, fucking double entendre there, but, like, it's just, like, the thing is, like, it just seems in the grand scheme of things for him to lose his job. And I don't like John Gruden that much. Do I give a shit who the coach of the Raiders is? No, I'm not a Raiders fan. I don't care. But I'm just saying, for the man to lose his job for that, I feel like it's more a symptom of the times than it is the fact that he did something so egregious that it means he should lose his job.
I think the symptom of the times scenario is ultimately because that is a business that's worth close to $1 billion, and they're selling a brand to everyone because they make billions of dollars.
Perception.
So
they're in a new town.
Not just a town with plenty of
money to spend.
Not just money to spend, but a very diverse town.
Yeah, you're right about that.
In a lot of ways.
Yep.
And he's the face of the franchise. Yeah. So you can't do that.
Yeah, but it's just like the thing is,
you can't. That's the standard that you're held to. You can't do that. He got business decisioned.
What's the line?
He became a liability.
Remember the Titans. Attitude reflects leadership.
Yeah,
you can't have that at the top.
Yeah, so it's not so much about social justice. That dude was worth too much money having that on him, and that's a liability of acting that way in that pricey of a business.
It's fair. I just feel like there are.
Because if
most likely
going to make money by having John Gruden there, then they keep him. A decision was made.
Yeah,
that they're going to lose money by having John Gruden.
Yeah, it was a business decision. You're right about that, and that's fair. I mean, obviously, like, we love football because we love the entertainment value of it, but they're businesses. Every one of them is a business.
That's what it gets under my craw. Like when people want to say, "Oh, that's such a PC thing to do." I'm like, hold on now, what's at stake?
Yeah.
Because they don't consider the actual reason. Because someone who is worth billions of dollars makes decisions based on what makes them billions of dollars.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's not a PC thing from the organization standpoint. They have to make that business decision because it's a PC point for their viewers and for their audience.
And the culture that they exist in.
Now, to bring it back to football, what do you think the fallout of that is going to be for the Raiders team? Because I feel like Johnny G.
I feel like they had a good team.
I feel like they had a good team, and I feel like his style of play as a head coach was exactly what that organization needed.
They just put up 9 points at home against the Bears, so like.
But do you think
I don't know how good they were.
I watched their games and I liked what I saw.
They looked above average. I think that now they're definitely not.
I think they can put up points. And they have a pass rush, and we had this conversation about Arizona. If you put up points and you got a pass rush, then you're gonna win a lot of games.
Well, hasn't Intrum been named yet?
I don't know. I just think maybe part of what was going on this week is that, like, you know, when you see teams that have to answer all these media questions and all this stuff, and there's all this disunity, you have players that are not going to, like, football's an emotional game, and the Raiders obviously had a lot of negative emotions surrounding their locker room all week. Thank you. Miss a kick or what?
He did miss a kick, but there was an offside.
Is that Rodrigo? Where's the glasses? There he is. There's the rocket ship.
That's my rocket ship from
That's the
last
man
year.
right there. Love that guy.
What?
So many missed kicks this week. Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's been a ton.
I mean, like I was saying about the Packers game, let's just keep it moving. We could talk about John Gruden all night, but I think it does deal a blow to the Raiders locker room, no matter how you slice it. Like, before what happened, I think he was well respected in that locker room, and it leaves a big gap in the leadership of that team. Because Derek Carr said all this smack that he was going to come out and prove to the NFL why Joey Bosa was wrong. Well, he proved nothing. He proved that Joey Bosa was right, if anything. Because if you didn't hear, like, Joey Bosa came out after the game where the Chargers, took it to them last Monday night, or last Monday night, yes,
yep.
And said that we knew, knowing him as a divisional opponent for many years, that if you put him under pressure, he curls up into a ball, and you can easily put him into a shell. Well, he didn't show any reason that that's not true, because Khalil Mack did that to him single-handedly.
Yeah. He doesn't strike me as a leader. He's not the kind of guy that his players want to follow. I mean, you've heard it before. This isn't new. Like, the year his entire offensive line turned against him.
Oh, jeez.
That's just not a good sign for a team.
No, it's not. But let's stop talking about the Raiders. Dave, good win. Glad you got to see a win when you went down to Vegas. That's good for you, man.
Hey, way to see John Gruden's last game in the NFL.
Yeah, and, way to see Justin Fields underperform once again. And horrendous play calling, even though Matt Nagy is no longer the play caller. The play calling still continues to be horrendous.
The Bears' leading receiver yesterday had 35 yards.
Yeah, and out of all the talent on that team, who scores the touchdown? Somebody, Horsted. Jesper Horsted. Who, has anybody ever heard that name before? Absolutely. No, they have not. So that's what's going on with the Bears, ladies and gentlemen. But, it's the Bears. They suck. We all know that.
It's true.
Anyway, shots fired, Dave, for the third time this year. Anyway, you ready to get into the matchups?
Yeah, we should get right to the matchups.
All right, who's up first?
Let's go.
That's a good one to get into.
Which one?
Well, which ones are still active this week? We have the Allen OG.
Everything's pretty much wrapped up at this point.
It's pretty much wrapped up. The only ones that are still up for grabs are Average Jakes, if he got just a massive second half from Mark Andrews.
Let's jump into that one.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know what your guys' thoughts on this are, but, I mean, Josh Allen, Jesus.
Josh Allen is a monster like I always knew he was.
Of course. I mean, and also, the Chiefs are in trouble.
The Chiefs are in trouble.
Chiefs are in trouble.
5 games.
Who would have seen that coming?
They're the third best team in their division. Well, second now.
Second.
John
They're the
Gruden.
second.
Now it's Josh Gruden.
But they're going to have their hands full finishing ahead of the Chargers in that division.
Dude.
Chargers are a solid team.
Chargers are good.
I mean, Justin Herbert, he's not even 2 years in the NFL. A year and a quarter in the NFL.
He's the guy.
He's breaking records.
Yeah.
5 total touchdowns.
Trish needs to be starting
QB1.
that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm always defending Jalen Hurts. And me and Jake had a little back and forth about Jalen Hurts on the phone. And I will say this about Jalen Hurts. One, you guys keep maligning the guy. And did he look like shit? Yes, he looked like shit. Played terrible. But 2 rushing touchdowns, and they won the game.
That was unbelievable. Carolina
he won
gave
the game.
That game away.
He gave the game away, but
it?
Jalen Hurts did what needed to be done, and he won the game.
And his team blocked a punt. But hey, he did what
They
he had
won
to
the
do.
game, and he put two. Trey Lance couldn't get the ball across the goal line.
Got saved with those rushing touchdowns. Patrick's argument for Jalen Hurts. It gets to last another week.
Of course, I'm going to bring that
Until
up.
he has 3.5 awful quarters again, and
Hey.
then maybe something else will happen.
I'm going to bring it up because they won the game, and also
Was Tim Tebow a good quarterback?
when he was winning games, he was. And you know what? There was a moment there where Tim Tebow won a playoff game. Remember that?
I know, and I'm so glad because I'm a Tebow fan.
Me too.
But I mean, the argument to Tim Tebow being a good quarterback.
He wasn't a good quarterback.
No, he wasn't. And
But
Jalen Hurts isn't either.
Jalen Hurts is a far better quarterback than Tim Tebow ever was.
I don't know if I agree with that.
He's a better passer.
I wouldn't say far better. Maybe like slightly improved.
If we're talking letter grades,
Are we talking letter grades?
I think Tim Tebow
Tebow's a C minus.
Are we worse?
C plus. Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts C plus. Tim Tebow C minus.
I do
I
not think
support
Jalen
that.
Hurts is a C plus.
You have to
Bad
give
in
him
my
a.
mind.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. I think it's a D plus. I think it's a D plus.
No, that's
You heard what I said.
because if you're talking D plus quarterbacks, who I put in that category as a D plus
Ryan.
quarterback,
Hey,
yeah,
what about Carson Wentz?
not Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan is a good quarterback that is in a bad situation and he's aging. Matt Ryan has been a great quarterback for
been an A.
many
He's
years,
been an A, yeah.
many
He
years.
has been one.
Well, he's just getting old. You know what I mean? Would you call Ben Roethlisberger on his
has
career?
been?
I'm not putting any
Yes.
context
You
to
know.
it. I'm just saying what I would roughly rate him
Right now,
which
yeah.
was about a D plus.
I would much rather have Matt Ryan.
Then Jalen Hurts.
Yes,
Absolutely.
because he makes far less mistakes. If you're talking about your NFL team, I would put Matt Ryan on that Eagles team and look at what happens to Devonta Smith and those two tight ends.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because you have a quarterback who's far more precise, who has a veteran presence, who has a decent offensive line and a decent defense that can make some plays. Philly's got a bad defense, but they can make some plays.
They makes plays.
You know, you have Darius Slay over there. You have Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher
You got a few
Cox
guys.
is a monster, and I hate him.
I mean, he's probably the best nose tackle in the league. You know, but anyway, to get back to the matchup here, finally a nice week out of Alvin Kamara for Todd. It seems like that's
Yeah.
been a long time coming this year, which is weird.
Kamara was a weird thing to have.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't know what that offense is in New Orleans. They don't know what it is.
who is New Orleans?
Yeah.
Nobody knows who New Orleans
It's the
is.
biggest mystery in the entire NFL.
Do they have a good defense?
No idea.
I don't know. Do they have a good offense?
You know who I love?
I don't know.
I love Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah, they have. So I would be more confident in their defense week to week than their offense, because their defense has tried and true positional players that have done it for a long time. Marshawn Lattimore, Cam Jordan. You have Sheldon Rankins on that line. You know, you have guys there that have done it for a long period of time, and that defense under Peyton always coalesces as the year goes on. They get very tough
they
later
get
in the
better.
year. Yeah.
Kansas City's defense gets better.
Yeah, but I don't know this year, man.
I got questions.
They're
Can't get
so
much
bad.
worse.
Yeah, they look like shit.
They can't stop anyone.
Nobody.
They couldn't stop. I mean, they haven't stopped anyone.
Not a
They haven't stopped the
single
Bills. They
person.
didn't stop the Eagles. They didn't stop the Chargers.
Browns.
They didn't stop the Browns. I don't even remember the other team.
The Browns, the Ravens, the Chargers.
They didn't
the
stop the
Eagles.
Ravens.
played
They
the
didn't stop
Eagles.
anybody.
No, they didn't stop the Eagles either.
Nah.
I mean,
Bad.
yeah, just rough for the Chiefs, and even rougher for the Chiefs. And we got to get back to Todd's team here, but even rougher for the Chiefs. Clyde out for 3 weeks. Tyreek with a knee injury. Kelsey with a stinger. I mean,
It's not looking good in Kansas City.
I gotta say though, the running can I say against my Clyde? He's out for a few weeks now. I think Darrell Williams, sans Clyde, is a better running back to have than Darrell Williams with Clyde, because Darrell Williams is going to get the goal line touches, and they'll give him the between the 20s looks too.
Yeah.
So I think he's a better running back as the main guy than Clyde as the main guy with Darrell Williams stealing the goal line
I didn't
touches.
know that Clyde was going to miss time.
2 to 3 weeks probably. He's got
Did
MCL
he get hurt
sprain.
yesterday? Or was
Yeah,
It, oh, shit.
he had to get picked up and carried off the field with his leg dangling.
Oh,
That's
God.
really good news. I'm really glad I picked up Darrell Williams.
You son of a bitch. Well, you picked him up? Oh, I thought he was going to be a waiver.
Before last week.
Ah, well. You lucked out.
What a
It was
pickup.
from the that I can't remember the name of the fantasy footballers giving advice on that one. They said you might snag him in case something happens to Clyde.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
So I did, and then something
Wow.
happened to Clyde. So
I mean, I
Okay.
can't talk too much on that for you because, man, I've gotten 2 week winning performances out of Alexander Madison.
yeah, you have.
Nice.
So-
Like 27 in both of them or something like that.
Yeah, he just went nuts both weeks, which is nice. What's even nicer is that, speaking of the competition league, is that Mr. Cool Guy Allen, or Cool Allen, I guess we call him Cool Allen.
Cole Allen.
Cool Allen started Dalvin because it was literally 30 minutes before the game that the news broke.
It's the win.
But you know who
It's
they
the
got
win.
bailed out by?
Yeah,
It's the
Mike
win.
motherfucking Williams. That man. We'll
Went
get to
nuts.
that. We'll get to that. But he went absolutely off.
And
All right.
Devontae Adams finally showed who the number 1 receiver in the NFL truly is.
yeah, and I played him in DFS everywhere because we knew he was going to torch things.
206.
And on the inverse of that, though, back to this Jake
Yeah,
versus
let's
Todd
finish this matchup here.
Najee Harris not getting started.
Ugh.
But you
But
know
everybody
what?
else performed.
Everybody else performed just fine. I mean, what do you
What
gonna
did
say?
you do? Sit Adam Thielen? You're not going to sit Adam Thielen.
No. I mean, he didn't. But what I'm saying is, he didn't lose. He didn't really lose a whole lot. If you're talking just straight running backs out of those 4,
That's fair.
he
But
lost
I think
6 points.
9 weeks
Yeah.
out of 10, that's not the case. You know what I mean? So we got away with it this week. But just seeing that 20 points for Najee Harris
So-
dying on a bench down there is painful to
Does
see.
Jake want to give me Najee Harris? Does Jake want to give me Najee Harris?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's
I'm
going to
gonna-
give up Najee.
I'm going
I'll
to
take anybody.
speculate that he's going to say
I'll
no,
take
so.
anybody.
But
So you're desperate?
I'm a desperate man.
You one loss into desperation
Oh,
territory?
absolutely. I do not like how damp it is down here, you fuckers.
you're not
It's
encouraged
moist.
by.
It's
Are
moist. It's
It's real,
moist.
it's real moist.
It's
real
moist and I don't
swamp.
like it. I feel like I gotta dry my feet every time I get on the
Yeah.
Down
into
with the
bed.
moistness.
And my vision of the swamp right now is Cody just hanging by a branch. He's hanging by a branch. His foot's
toe just
slightly
touched.
touching the water. He's just touching it, and then I'm
Russell
on the.
Wilson's finger is holding this branch up. By
That's
the way.
right, and
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's finger is gonna keep him out to about week 10. Looks like so.
Fuckers.
Man.
And I offered some trades. Cody wasn't biting, so you know you're on your own there, fella.
Fella.
And then I am just clawing myself out of the swamp. I'm halfway out. You know, I'm grabbing
Are you?
branches, hanging onto Cody's foot, dragging him down.
I always hanging on,
Yeah,
man.
that's right. Three and two, man. I'm clawing my way out
Get
of the
off
swamp.
me.
Anyway, Zach Moss. I mean, anybody for Buffalo right now. Anybody
on that
from
team.
get somebody on the team.
Yeah.
Because
if it's their fullback, start him. He's getting a touchdown.
probably
He's getting a touchdown.
Dawson Knox is putting up fucking 20 points a week right now.
That man looks like a legitimate top 5 tight end
When you have
with that
Because
offense.
you're in Buffalo.
when you have that good of a quarterback, it's like
Josh
being on
Allen's
Patty Mahomes'
amazing.
team right now. Even better.
Not record wise, maybe fantasy wise.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I mean we're talking straight fantasy right now, but like the Buffalo Bills are quickly turning into not even turning into. They are probably. I mean,
Best
they got to be
offense in
the
AFC.
they got to be the premier offense in the NFL right now.
They have to be the number 1 team because they have a defense with a couple players that can shift momentum too.
Mm-hmm.
They're in every game.
Their secondary is nasty. They have solid players at linebacker, and they have Leonard Williams up front.
It just seems like a well-run organization. It seems like they constantly keep adding weapons for Josh Allen, and now it's to the point where he's got everything.
You know what
That-
America needs?
I like that,
Everything he
coach.
needs to win
America needs a
championship.
Bills Cowboys Super Bowl again.
Got to know you pass the pack first.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah,
Not
all
that
right,
big a
well,
deal.
We'll
Yeah, because anybody can run.
Can
on
I
it.
can I
You don't
just
really
say
have a
that the
team.
pack still finds ways to win even when they look like shit?
And
So
Ron-
You
This
have
is
lots of
great for you.
opportunities to witness that because of how often they look like shit.
first of all, little Homer talk here. We are winning games.
We get disclosure now. when
We
you
are
go overtime?
winning. Yeah, well,
can
I
I
guess.
just say? Can I just say?
Can I just speak, gentlemen?
Can I finish?
The Packers are winning games currently, okay, without the best tackle in the NFL, which is David Bakhtiari.
Guys,
Okay.
I'm sorry that you have to listen to this.
Yeah, okay. Winning games without David Bakhtiari, without their starting center,
If we don't let him
without
do
their
this-
starting left guard, okay, without Jair Alexander, who
He
may
won't
be
go
out for the
anymore.
year, without Zadarius Smith, Okay?
I wish we had a camera so you could see how red Patrick's face is right now.
Not red at all, folks. No bashfulness at all. Packers winning games with all of their star players on defense out. Anyway, moving on. Keenan Allen. Solid performance. Little underwhelming when your team puts up 40-some points and your quarterback throws 4 or 5 touchdowns? And he's got 7 points? Mike Williams might be the number 1 wide receiver on that team this year.
I don't think it's a might anymore. I think the stats clearly show that Keenan Allen's not the guy.
Yeah, Mike Williams is the guy, and he's got a quarterback who can hit him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a quarterback who can hit anything. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus, that guy this year. Yeah, I mean, he's above him in total points this year, is he not?
Yeah, Mike Williams is the wide receiver 7.
And Keenan Allen's probably, like 18?
13 maybe?
13? It's somewhere in there. It's got to be.
28.
28? Wow.
Whoa.
Didn't realize he was that far down.
Yeah. It's not been close.
No. I mean, Keenan Allen's week's what's his worst week? 6 points? Everything else has been okay.
He had a week at 4, whereas Mike Williams had 1 week at 1. So if you write those 2 weeks off, he gets doubled or tripled every
Yeah.
week.
I mean, it's just Mike Williams is such
He's a freak athlete.
Yeah. And
So
he's
who do you think Justin Herbert wants to groom a relationship with? The old guy on the way out, or the freak athlete
who's
who,
coming into his own finally and staying
Yeah.
healthy. Yeah, you're right. You're
Well,
right.
there's other teams, too, that have wide receiver duos where you can clearly see that one of them gets the work between the 20s. The other one gets a lot of action in the red zone. But Mike Williams gets it no matter where they are on that field. Herbert loves that guy.
But every year,
Mike Williams getting it all over the field.
every year, Keenan Allen, he does this almost every year, where he has a slow period at some point in the year, and we're just waiting for Keenan Allen to put up 3 in 130. You know what I mean? He does it every year.
He has the skill set to do that.
Absolutely does. He looks great when he plays. He's just not getting he's still getting all the attention of the defense, as he should, because he's a great player. What happens when the defense starts keying on Mike Williams?
Well, they're going to need to, because that man.
Keenan Allen has 1 touchdown on the year. Mike Williams, 6.
So what I'm saying is, at what point do you see defenses start bracketing Mike Williams and treating him as the number 1?
It better be now.
I mean, it's been 4 weeks where he's outproduced.
They'll need to figure it
That's
out.
the thing with some of those electric offenses. The second you focus on one, you open yourself up to get cut by another one. So it's a little more delicate than it's not as easy as just saying,
Wow.
well, cover him better. You know what I mean?
Wow.
There's more to it.
He going into my lineup next week, folks.
He
Carson
just
Wentz
bailed
best friend.
out his quarterback.
Michael
And-
Pittman is #good.
Is he?
Yes, he is. He's good. You look at the target metrics
Where's
on that
Mark-
man this year. He's been way underperforming his touchdown opportunity. He's gonna be in, man.
Well, this play is going to put him in a lot of lineups, I feel like.
Stands.
Yeah, and I've been
Carson Wentz
surprised.
gets hit,
Wow.
puts up a duck.
Yeah, it's on the defense. He stands.
Now show where all the work is here.
Yeah.
Look at this.
That man going in the lineup.
And
That's a
staying on his
flex.
feet.
That's a
And he's
flex.
pulling
Look
him
at that.
down.
And not just anybody either. Marlon Humphrey is a good player. No touch. Half yard line.
Nah, I better let him stand. He did too much. He did too much.
It's not a touchdown. If they review it, it's not a touchdown.
That one ought to stand.
As much as I want it to be, but Michael Pittman, look at the target metrics, folks. He's getting 7-8 targets a week. He's got all the targets in Indianapolis. But anyway, Robert Woods, nice to see him back involved. It was the writing was kind of on the wall. Sean McVay himself the week before saying we got to get Robert Woods involved, and boy did they.
Yeah, 12 receptions.
Yeah, and 14 targets.
Yeah, I think he maxed out on targets at 6, at any other game.
Yeah.
So
Well,
many
if you want
missed
Cooper
kicks,
Kupp-
another missed kick.
Another missed kick.
There's this week historically has been one of the worst weeks for kickers in the history of the NFL.
I watched a lot of football. I believe it. I
Mostly
see
because of
him left
Mason
and right.
Crosby.
Yeah. And
Oh,
well,
that was a touchdown.
and the other they caught yeah they should have reviewed it because it wasn't.
Yeah, well,
but
it was too good of a play.
It was
Yeah,
a touchdown, so
that's
they
fair.
automatically reviewed it.
Yeah.
they called it wrong. Anyway, Kyle Pitts finally showing up. The
London.
hype
In a
In
big
London.
way.
in London against the
London.
Jets. To be fair, but if he's not, like we were saying in the text, if he's not going to do it against the Jets, when
Where's
Calvin
that?
Ridley and Russell Gage the number 1 and 2 options for your team. And when Cordarrelle, for a brief moment in that game, went out, if you're not going to do that, when are you going to do it? You're the only guy, and you're playing the worst team in football. Like,
yeah. And he showed that they can just do that, and they'll be fine.
You know, with those other options out, they were definitely keen on him, and he still did it.
Yeah.
So I think that bodes well for him going forward. They might lean on that.
You would hope so, because I feel like if you get him more involved, it allows you to open things up for Calvin Ridley across the middle. You know, what Calvin Ridley made his hay on last year was like that crossing route, the little sit down between the zone, 20 yards, turn, run. I mean, but he's just getting all the attention in the defense, and everything's going underneath the Cordarrelle. And even though Kyle Pitts has had the targets this year, he hasn't done it until this week. So, you know, the Falcons are 2-3. And if they can put it together a little bit on offense,
I think the Falcons are the.
They're not a good team. No, but
they're the dirtiest 2-3 team there has to be.
They have some pieces on offense, though. Man, Cordarrelle, like, this is the first week I actually watched him. Man's got some freaking juice, dude.
He looks good.
He's fast as hell.
Mike Davis looks better than I expected him to look, and Patterson still looks twice as good.
His burst through the line is elite.
I can't believe you guys are talking me into watching a fucking Falcons game.
Every time Patterson runs, he gets up and he's like almost salivating. He's so in it. He's playing with all passion this year. All heart.
Well, he knows he could make some freaking money if he keeps this going all year.
And he's going to.
If he keeps it going, he will get paid.
3 touchdowns in a game kind of production. You come even a third of that on your average. You're killing it.
I wonder if he's been this good the whole time, or if he just, you know, I mean, because it's so odd for, was he 7, 8 years into his career?
Well, even if he followed his career,
no one ever used him as a running back.
Well, everybody thought that man was going to be amazing. And then he found out he couldn't run routes.
He can't run routes.
So they made him a return man. And then when he kind of lost a little bit of a step, he wasn't a viable return man. So they almost forced into this running back wide receiver hybrid, and it's just paid off dividends. Because he beefed up to make up for some of his lost speed.
Yep.
And now he just looks pretty good.
He looks good, and he looks fluid when he moves. And yeah, maybe he's not going to be as crisp on the routes as like a true wide receiver would be. But as a running back option out of the backfield that sometimes you could also throw in the slot, he's good enough at running routes that he can get the job done.
He confuses the defense because you never quite know where he's going to be. He's going to go in the flat, he's going to go in motion, then he's out wide.
Yeah, get on a linebacker. What linebacker is going to keep up with that man? Nobody. You know what I mean? Like maybe Fred
Parsons.
Warner, you know? But like, yeah. Anyway, we're getting away from it. But Brandon Cooks had a down week, which was crazy because can we talk about the Houston-New England game?
I can't believe New England won that fucking game.
They should not have won that game. They let Davis freaking Mills throw up 300 yards and what, like 2-3 touchdowns on him?
Bill Belichick, as a defensive guy, let Davis Mills, a rookie, the third rookie ever to put up a 300 game against Bill Belichick.
What do you attribute that to? Just not having enough film for him to analyze, or just random luck?
Emotional deficit. You had all of the emotions surrounding the Tampa Bay New England game. They put so much on the line in that game and came up short. And then they thought they were just going to walk through the Texans this week.
Came out flat.
And you can't do it. It doesn't matter.
No.
Blew their load in week 4.
Well, it doesn't matter what you do, man. You come out flat against an NFL professional team that is fighting and scraping for any win they can find. You're going to have a fight on your hands, you know?
That's true. When you're at the bottom, you're scrappy. You have to be.
It's the only way you can win a game.
Die, and your fan base won't let you do that.
I mean, look at the Lions. The Lions are terrible, and they just are fighting every week, though.
They are.
And they had 2. It'll be interesting to see how they look next week after 2 heartbreaking losses in a row.
Yeah, they'd have a win if it went for the longest field goal in the history of the NFL.
Oh, jeez.
Against the Ravens, even.
The Ravens aren't very good.
No.
The Ravens just aren't very good. They're 3-1.
Yeah.
And they're not very good.
I bet they win this game.
Well, I hope so.
I bet they
have the
do.
talent to do it.
Well, maybe they need to get Marquise Brown back in the mix because
I'll put 20. I'll put $20 on the podcast right here. I put $20 on the Ravens to win.
I'll take that action.
All right, let's do it. I will firmly bet on Lamar's game-winning instincts over Carson Wentz.
Man, I hate being on Team Carson Wentz.
I know you do, and I love the fact that it's
Well,
not
like,
me
I
on that
mean,
side.
But then you put yourself on it.
But I've
keep
watched
trying to
this
run
game.
the ball,
I've
and
watched
the
this game,
defense
and
is stopping them.
Yeah, I think you're gonna
The-
be paying me $20 to
They
do
were
this
even
game.
talking earlier about how the Ravens coach likes to come out early now and just experiment with the passing game before they ultimately transition to their running game.
oh, he got cradled.
Well, that didn't
He got
help.
cradled on.
That
He
didn't
got
help.
crumpled.
That doesn't help.
He got
Watch,
crunched
watch!
up.
I just make that bet, and Lamar Jackson tears his ACL. Ah, fuck. Nah. Let's go back to the last one real quick. We gotta stay on topic here to Todd and because there's more stuff to talk about there. We covered Todd pretty well. The Vikings defense had a solid day, but it's the Lions, you know. His bench, not a whole lot to say there. Samaje Perine he's a one-off week. Joe Mixon looks like he's gonna be back, which is crazy because they thought he was gonna be out.
P. Ryan just got put on the COVID list and he's gonna be out two weeks anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that. So, but on the other side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers had it was Devontae Adams and nobody else, and Aaron Rodgers looked like shit the entire first half. He was missing passes left and right. You know, he's cussing out his line, but he was missing throws. They looked so bad at the beginning of that game, and then it was Devontae Adams left, right, and center all game long. There was one play, can I say, where they had Devontae Adams bracketed, and he literally ran right through the middle of the safety and the cornerback and burned him for 50 yards.
Split the double team like it was nothing.
They
It
were-
just was on the other side of them.
And then at the end of the play, they're both just like looking, like he caught the ball, and it was hilarious because they both just looked at each other and were like, "What the hell just
I
happened?"
thought you had him.
Yeah.
I thought you had him. Yeah, he was untouchable.
It was crazy. Yeah, one of those
Oh
weeks.
my God.
Gibson
Lamar
had a hell of a
Jackson.
week for Jake. Damian Williams. You know what was interesting about the Chicago backfield, though? That rookie, Khalil Herbert, he had 18 touches.
18.
18 carries. He did.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they split almost 50-50. I think
Yeah.
Damian came in at like 17.
It was in it. He got the touchdown, but Khalil Herbert was very involved. Feeling a down week. You expect more against the Lions. I don't like the Lions. Just everybody keeps overlooking them. I don't know how much longer that's going to happen, but everybody overlooks them, and then they overachieve on defense, which is odd because their pieces at cornerback are not good right
You
now.
do, and then you couple that with the fact that Kirk Kissin's cousin is just so
2 weeks in a row.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Jameis Winston anymore. He can sling it, he can put up really good days, and then he can just look lackluster over and over and over again.
He's one of those. Go ahead.
And then, no, just to touch on Thielen, since that's why we're talking about him, most of his work went to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And when you're opposite of that, man, some days you're just not getting the ball.
Yeah, and Thielen is a touchdown guy. If he's not catching touchdowns, you know, he's going to have a solid, like this week, you know, 2 receptions and 40 is probably his floor. You know,
You're
I don't think he ever goes really much lower than that when
It's
he's
an
healthy.
outlier.
But, you know, I think it's the floor. And the thing is, yeah, he is a little boomer bust. But moving on there for Jake's team, Mark Andrews having a solid night tonight. 5 points for a tight end in the first half is solid. He probably catches a few more balls, maybe puts up 8 points tonight. Manny Sanders is the guy to have in Buffalo, apparently, over Stephon Diggs.
It's weird.
Looks that
It's
way.
strange.
Because that's not the way it is.
Of course it's not talent-wise, but he's
Right.
the one that's catching all the touchdowns.
Tell my team that.
Yeah, I know. It's rough for Erica right now with Stephon Diggs after what he did last year, but it's Manny Sanders right now.
It's wild.
Jake also has some studs at running back. You know, Gibson, Williams, Leonard Fournette. Gave up Julio to Erica for Kenny Galladay, which doesn't look like the right move with Kenny Galladay being hurt now. But I think Damian Williams is going to be a solid depth piece for him. Najee is the volume king of the world. Especially with Big Ben not being able to throw the ball, and even especially more so now that Juju's out for the year. All those short yard targets, they come into Najee.
Yeah, you gotta have.
With Fournette
Yeah.
proving that Ronald Jones is vision of the past in Tampa, he's got 4 running backs that can put up good numbers, at least until Montgomery comes back and probably takes his job. So the next 4 weeks, he's very flush at running back.
Very flush. And then the other thing is with Fournette is that it's really interesting there. The Tampa Bay just seems like they're just done with Ronald Jones. He must like Leonard Fournette, honestly, skill wise, is probably a better running back. He runs like he's more of a bruiser, but he also has speed and he has some elusiveness in the open field. He had more draft pedigree than Ronald Jones ever did. Even though Ronald Jones was a high draft pick, you remember when Leonard Fournette was in the draft? I think he was a first round pick. Like he was high pedigree pick. And the other thing is, he has a much longer leash than Jones because he makes mistakes and he doesn't get benched. You know what I mean? Like he makes a bad play and he's right back out there. Ronald Jones, you saw him in week 1, fumbled the ball once. When have you seen that man again? He has not been on the field.
Almost none.
Yeah, it's odd.
Well, Leonard Fournette has proven that he can catch a pass.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady likes to use running backs out of the backfield. So, since he can catch a ball and hit small people, then it's really good for Tom Brady's game.
And he has Gio Bernard.
Yeah.
So where's Ronald Jones ever going to get on the field?
Yeah, just...
You know? But I think that wraps up this week. I mean, if Jake gets some crazy... I mean, there's a chance here if Mark Andrews caught like a long play, which is possible with Lamar Jackson and him. They've done it before. That could swing this game. We were talking about that 6 points with Najee, not to belabor this matchup, but if you had that 6 points, Jake, this game would be a lot more on a knife's edge than it is. But anyway, anything else to say, guys?
Nope, not on that one.
All right, let's move to the next one. All right, we have Team Saquon these nuts, and Saquon is the one Saquoning his own nuts, unfortunately, with that rolled up ankle. The man has such bad luck.
Hey, he still won.
He still won, but Saquon is going to be out for a minute. He's probably out for 2-3 weeks with an ankle sprain. Which,
and now they got to rush him back because that team is trash. And
well, they just imploded. Involved. Yeah.
They're not going to be in the running, so...
Well, I mean, Daniel Jones, I feel bad for the man. Like, good Lord.
Making poor decisions.
Well, yeah.
Making poor decisions.
That's like a UFC fighter getting knocked out when he stood up. That's like how
really
bad it
sad.
was. It was really bad. I hope he's okay. But and Kenny G being out too, they have nobody. Well, they don't have nobody. You know what they got? Is a man named Kadarius the Pony Tony. Getting ejected, but that man is going to be...
numbers.
Yes, he did. And he looked good doing it.
Yeah, he did.
So, he will be a hot waiver ticket this week.
Think Mr. Glennon's going to be getting him involved enough to be worth a shit?
I think so, because who else is there? Evan Ingram ain't doing shit. My DFS lineup can tell you that, for God's sakes. You know? It fucking cost me some money, but you know what really cost money was Trey Lance. Bet on him, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, he's out a few weeks now too, right?
So, well, I don't think he's out. No, because the Niners got to bye next week. They're the first bye.
Is Jimmy gonna be able to play?
I don't know. It seems like we'll see what happens when they come back in. Whether it's
if he can
Trey.
play, that's good news. That's good news for Erica and Debo.
Well, yes, but they keep saying it's going to be Jimmy G, but, Nagy said that it was going to be Dalton the whole time, and now we have Justin Fields. So you don't know until you know. We'll know after the bye week whether it's going to be Trey or Jimmy, but,
I just mean since Trey can't play, they're just the way their offense runs, it'll be better for Debo for that period of time anyway.
But they're not playing. They have 2 weeks now because they're not playing next week. It's the Atlanta and San Francisco are on a bye next week. Because we are in the bye weeks, folks. Be paying attention. The Falcons and the Niners are on a bye. Even though I like it when I win because somebody started somebody on a bye. It's more fun to beat people when they play a full lineup. Anyway, Tom Brady, fantastic week. That's what really decided this matchup. Erica got destroyed by Taylor Heineke this week.
Well, and the fact that Mike Evans got 2 of the touchdowns from Tom too. So
Late in the game.
That matchup ended up the best it has all year.
He got literally almost exactly half of his 120.
Tom Brady escaped New England with a win.
Tom Brady and Mike Evans.
And then took out all of his daddy frustrations on the Miami Dolphins.
God. And you know what? Good for Brady because normally he plays bad against the Dolphins. Normally he does, and he did not.
Yeah, but now his home is in Florida, and I feel like he's reversed that spell. I feel like him moving to Florida was to counter the Miami curse.
Maybe.
It has been bad.
Something weird about playing teams in Florida with I don't know, with the legacy quarterbacks.
Down in Jacksonville, not doing so well.
Yeah.
It's hot down there, man.
I guess so. Hot and humid. They're not ready.
You don't move as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Lamar Jackson. Put it on the ground at the goal line.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're going to come back and score a touchdown. That hurts, though. That hurts my chances, folks.
That is the dirtiest play I've seen so far in the NFL this year.
He's going to come back. Come on, Lamar.
They robbed this man of a touchdown and got one on the other
Challenge
side.
it. Challenge it.
Oh, beauty.
I want to see the replay. Hold on, folks. I got to see the replay. Touchdown. Touchdown. That's a touchdown.
Oh, he's down.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
He was down.
I thought the running back had the ball.
How do they?
No, it's that guy right there.
Down. Down. He's down.
That's close, though. Watch his fingers.
Yeah.
They kind of loosen up a little bit, right? Here.
They're... No, he's still got control. He has control. He has control.
I think it's really close.
But
I think they're
it's...
going to have to overturn a close call.
And that never happens. It's a
that ball's
fumble.
coming out.
I think it's a fumble.
God damn it.
But back to this match.
Anyway, back to
Well,
the
look, there's a flip. It's not over. He goes down. He flips it to another guy.
Oh,
Oh
so
my
maybe...
God.
There's a lateral.
Oh, maybe... We'll see what happens here.
I'm just saying, this is great.
I hope no touchdown,
Look
but
at
we'll
the
see.
point differential in this fantasy matchup between Tom Brady and Taylor Heineke.
That's
I
what
know
I'm saying.
it.
And literally, if she would have played Tannehill, I mean,
It wouldn't have mattered.
it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't
She didn't have
matter.
any options at quarterback this week.
I had bad quarterbacks. I
did.
have a problem with quarterbacks.
Two things for Brandt's lineup real quick. Obviously, Saquon out. T. Higgins most likely out as well. Apparently, from what I heard today. That's not good. But you know what? He could just line up Antonio Brown and Mike Evans every week, apparently. Because,
Yeah, no
you know,
shit.
And also, Jerry Judy's probably coming back in like a week or two, so that'll help as well.
Brent getting his first win.
Brent getting his first win.
Hey,
Clap it up for Brent. Nice
Well
work.
deserved. He's been
Nice
putting up some
job.
points.
He has.
Nice
He
job.
should have won against Cool Allen. He lost the 4-yarder, the brutal one. Erica, her team did solid. Obviously, she's got some quarterback questions there to figure out.
Yeah.
Her running backs really played well. What really submarined her, though, was the fact that the Patriots did not show up against the Texans, and the fact that Damian Harris got injured and fumbled the ball on the half-inch line.
Which is really bad on that offense because you start fumbling the ball, you don't play.
Yeah.
You go to the next guy, even if he's a little bit worse.
And he may not be active next week because while they said he's okay, he did have a rib situation, and Ramondre Stevenson played for a lot of that game. So he may be a waiver wire target as well. Stephon Diggs is hurting too. I mean, you got to get a week out of that guy eventually. The surprise, honestly, on her whole team of anybody other than Darren Waller underperforming. I mean, when your team puts up 9 points and you're a tight end, like, that's rough. But A.J. Dillon, the involvement of A.J. Dillon when you have Aaron Jones is a little bit odd, but he looked good.
He did.
A.J. Dillon looked real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was off-putting. Not to jump to a different matchup, but I only paid attention to that because of going against Aaron Jones this week. And just not seeing him on the field and Dillon out there for like probably 2/3 of the snaps.
It's like a 50-50 split.
Yeah, it was
odd.
way out of what I was expecting.
I don't know if
He's
that was
been
like
involved more recently, though.
the last 2 games he has. The last 2
Has
games.
Jones been beat up
That's
at all?
why I
Is it just
picked
a
him
game
up.
plan?
I
picked
think
him
they're
up 'cause
trying to
he's been
keep
involved.
Jones healthy because if
Because
you watch the end of that game, Jones made a huge run.
When Jones is on the field, he looks just as electric as he did last year and the year before that. And so it's baffling to me when I don't see him out there for half the snaps. He looks still very, very legitimate.
Thing you got to remember is Matt LaFleur is one of these new age coaches who are doing these new wonky things. Like if you watch what the Chargers did, they went for it on 4th down how many times that game? These young coaches are doing some different shit. And like what I'm saying is with all, like, look at across the league, all of the star running backs, short of Derrick Henry, every star running back is missing time every year. Derrick Henry is the Iron Man because he's made of iron, apparently. Like, you cannot damage that man.
He's just so.
I think the NFL teams are really coming around to the idea that it's just better long term for your assets if you can have a 2 running back system and just increase your longevity a little bit more. Even like Ezekiel, it's got Tony Pollard coming in because he looks good enough, and then Zeke's well enough rested to go off for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And the same thing, look at what the Vikings did with Madison and Cook this week. Cook could have played. He could have played, but it's the Lions. And you have Madison.
But does he need to?
He doesn't need to.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the same production out of Madison.
Which is good for your professional team.
They call it a touchdown?
They called it an illegal forward pass, though, on the lateral. Which
Nice.
I thought that was...
Beautiful. We're still in it, folks. All right, anyway. Moving on, Erica's team. I don't know if there's much left to say. I think you made the right call.
Through another kaput week,
Yeah.
which kind of feels good on my end, but that's an outlier. How do you think his value is affected by John Gruden not being in Vegas anymore? Do you think it goes up?
It's not a legal forward pass.
I think not at all.
That is a lateral pass.
Of course it is. No, that's an illegal forward pass. He's down. We all know it. Cody, eat crow. Anyway,
yeah, it's forward.
Still would have preferred
No,
a
it's
touchdown.
It is. If you check the other angle, it looks like it's not because they're moving forward so fast, but that ball went forward.
Also, his knee was down too. But
Barely,
anyway.
but it did.
Anyway,
Still better for me than the Baltimore's not scoring.
And back to the match.
Yeah, back
Come
to the
on, Marquise
matchups.
Brown.
She made the right call without Marquise Brown. She wanted to put Marquise Brown in over Zeke,
No, I didn't. I said over Diggs.
Ooh.
but
Getting
still,
called out.
Marquise Brown over Diggs. Come on now.
It would have worked out.
Anyway,
It's
I
not
told
that
her to
far
do
off.
what she feels
I know.
because
It
she's
worked out.
made the
It
right
would've
call.
worked out.
You know?
It wouldn't have been that far off. It would not have been a make or break
No,
because Diggs only got 2 catches.
it wouldn't have mattered
In
really.
hindsight.
Is there anything else to say?
Now watch Marquise Brown
No.
go off for the rest of the game. Who
Well,
knows?
he's always a threat to catch a
It
bomb.
cost me $20.
Yeah, well, let's hope he does. Oh, this game swung quick. The two Allens, Mr. OG Taylor had a really underachieving week this week. Left some points on his bench, but honestly, I don't think it would have mattered. You know, you have Javonte there, which maybe would have done a little bit better than Marvin Jones, but and Joe Mixon could have slotted in there for Jamal, but even with that, I still think it doesn't make a difference. JT's having a good night. Really underachieving week for Kyler Murray. There was a few passes that he just missed that would have been touchdowns, and he didn't have a big running week.
Look at
Niners
90.
defense
Yeah.
made
Can I say-
Arizona look vulnerable.
Average.
98's
Yeah,
arms
but they still won.
are ridiculous.
Yeah,
Because they don't have a quarterback.
yeah.
It's like the size of like
Well,
my waist.
They're NFL players. What do you expect? And they're on peds, So
And they're all on peds.
Yeah,
They're
so
every
they're-
one of them.
they're insane athletes to begin with, and then they're on peds, so they're enormous. So, really underachieving week for Allen. That's not going to continue. He has so many solid players on that team.
Jonathan Taylor was the leading scorer on Allen's team 3 minutes into this ballgame. Because of that screen pass and how underperforming the rest of his roster was.
And I honestly think for Allen, you got to get Devonta Smith on there over Marvin Jones. Relying on the Jacksonville offense is just not a good bet outside of James Robinson.
It's so hard to rely on a receiver that has to have Jalen Hurts throwing them the ball though, because Jalen Hurts is at most a D+ quarterback.
Look at bringing it back around again, folks. See what he does there? Just keeps digging. Anyway, Devonta Smith. Can we look at his consistency? Because I think Devonta Smith has been over, and I know this is a low bar, but when you're talking about receivers, you want a floor, and I don't think he's been below. He had one game below 5 points. Am I
That's
right?
not correct.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
had
he had two.
2 weeks where he didn't even
busted
combine
out.
for 5 points.
That's fair. But I think Marvin Jones has had one solid week, maybe 2. I don't think he's done much better.
Devontae Smith probably above Marvin Jones at this point, yes.
And also, I think Devonta Smith is a much bigger threat in that offense to score touchdowns than Marvin Jones because of how bad Jacksonville is and how inconsistent Trevor Lawrence is.
I think maybe he just got a little duped because Marvin Jones started the year with a touchdown in each of his first 2 games. He has since not done jack shit, but it's easy to have him come on a pedestal when they start a season hot like that.
That game was weird against Tennessee too because the volume in the passing game went to everybody but LaVisca and Marvin Jones, which was really
Even
odd.
with Chark out of there.
Yeah.
I really expected to see some Chenault downfield. He got like one catch for 50 yards. And that was
saved his week a
entire
little bit.
productivity. Yeah.
How many having targets did he get?
I don't know.
Not many.
We'll look here in a minute. Not many.
For on the other side of the ball, obviously, Josh Jacobs, solid game. Dalvin Cook out. Luckily to win the week, playing a player that didn't even play.
Well, relevant to this matchup, Allen Taylor just got a little closer with another Jonathan Taylor touchdown.
Wow!
Jonathan Taylor touchdown.
God damn it!
Are you kidding me?
That's for JTT.
Oh God.
JT. I think that's your new team name.
JTT.
JTT.
You know what? That would be crazy if Allen somehow pulled this matchup out.
Oh God,
He needs a 20-yard touchdown. He's there. 20 yards of touchdown in a quarter.
Yeah, but he needs Lamar to do nothing in garbage time.
That's also true.
Which is not going to happen.
That's accurate.
Because you know Lamar, when he's down, is going to just start running like a wild man.
You're not wrong.
Do you guys want to move on to the next matchup? Anything else to say? I mean, we had Devontae, world beater Adams, and Mike Williams that really carried the other Allen's team. I mean, that's...
Yeah, his wide receivers were it. His
That's-
defense got him -6, but he's got...
He stepped out. Yay. 2-point conversion almost went 2 points the other way because Carson Wentz is so bad.
Well, that would have been nice, but can't even get a break there, huh?
Browns
All right.
defense literally cost him 6 points. He's still going to pull this off because his receivers are that good.
Yeah.
Allen coming through with a stinker of a week, but that'll be... He'll bounce back, I'm sure.
Got to get the Bills defense out there. That offense is good enough to keep the other offense off the field and force them into making mistakes because they're going to have to play catch up. So
It's true, but you can't fault him for benching a defense going against the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Especially in Kansas City.
And the way the Browns have been playing, I would have played the Browns too.
It just didn't work out this week.
No.
We got the W, but...
All right, who else we got? Oh, yes, let's dig into this matchup.
The Butthole
Cody.
Wreckers.
Butthole Wreckers got reverse wrecked. They got Philly slammed, as we shall say.
Slamwich.
Right in the butthole.
Oh man. Yeah.
What do you got to say for yourself,
They
Cody?
can't all be bangers, you know?
Just ran into the
I put
Jacksonville.
up I was able to withstand a couple IR spots on key positions and some flex nonsense the moment of game time. And yet I put up triple digits, okay? It sucks that I got sandwiched by a weird game in Carolina. And then Kareem Hunt, who's clearly the better running back to have between him and Nick Chubb. And DK Metcalf, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, because he's a gorilla man.
Geno made a good throw, but also that one that he caught, that was a poor play by that defender. Really, just came forward, thought it was going to be underthrown, and just went right over his head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk about Knox in Buffalo. Because, again, you just want to have anybody in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So,
clearly.
Trish's team should be called It Hurts. And she should never start that man again. Because she's got Herbie on the bench.
I know.
The kind of numbers she could have put up by starting Herbie this week.
Start Herbie every week.
Oh my God!
What are we
Herbie
doing? You know, the odds of him doing that versus Jalen Hurts having 20,
So Trish has the best team in the league right now, and I found out about it the first time that the rest of us knew. That's what happened.
I don't think she has the best team in the league. I think she still has vulnerabilities at running back, and she just has gotten lucky in these spots.
I agree. Don't take you losing to a team as the sign that they're the best team in the league now, because that's arrogant.
Look, I'm on team. I
She took me down too, though.
Yeah, well, you know she didn't take down me, and my team's very average right now.
Fair enough. What else you got, Cody?
I don't know, man. It hurts. I got Kittle and Russ out, and a lot of goods feel a little bare now. So I got some. I'm looking. I got Kirk Cousins I'm sitting on, so I'm looking for a quarterback. I got Connor Brate because I don't know, just pick a team member in Tampa.
Cameron Brate, yeah. I honestly, so I got hurt by Cameron Brate and AJ Green because I played them both in DFS.
Yeah, see.
And because I thought, Gronk is out, Cameron Brate is a touchdown guy.
Well, again,
Tom Brady.
I'm thinking throw AJ Green in there just because put me another receiver in Arizona because how many points you got to score, and then they ran into a defense that, like the first time this year that they got stopped. So
well, those divisional matchups can be a little weird too.
It's true. They tend to get that way. So like, as much as I was super ashamed of what happened to my team, like I'm like, okay, well, fuck, it's gonna look like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put up 100 still. And
Yeah.
then you never were gonna put Gas Cannon against. You never were gonna put the Gas Man in against Tampa Bay.
No, you weren't going to do that.
Ever.
No, that was a bad call. But bright side, I think I got a defense now that just likes getting turnovers, and so they're always. And at this point, I just want a defense that I know is not going to get me negative. But now they're like swinging like 7s, like on average. I think
they're going to be a touchdown threat every week too because of Trevon Diggs.
Because Trevon Diggs,
top 10 defense, fantasy wise, even.
How crazy is that?
That's good.
Interception in every game.
2 in one of them.
Yeah.
They put up another stat going back to last season. He has 9 interceptions in his last 10 games.
How good is that football family?
That's incredible.
Trevon and Stephon.
Yeah.
You know?
Remarkable.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that man.
I was talking
need
to Cody
me a
today.
number 7 color rush jersey.
I watched him.
If you win the points.
Do.
Yeah.
I'm putting up triple digits, so we're working on it.
You are working on it. That's fair.
He almost
Current
had
point
3.
leader.
He almost had 3
Maybe not after
interceptions
this
this
week.
game. 3. Trayvon Diggs. There was the one we talked about today where he was following a guy across the field and he was baiting the quarterback with about 6 yards of cushion. It's an easy check down route. You get 4 or 5 yards, but he's not getting the sticks. He threw this ball. Trayvon Diggs was so fast. He got to the receiver before the ball did, and he rocketed it. That's how quick he was.
Yeah.
He went from 6 yards of space to none in the snap of a finger.
He has great instincts. You see the way he breaks on a play, like is elite.
He doesn't over pursue either. He's always exactly in the line he needs to be.
Man's he's gonna be a player.
He would have picked 6
you know.
if he would have just been his hands up. That play that he undercut going sometime in the first half.
Yep.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. Oh, there's Marquise.
Marquise
Thank
Brown.
you.
Hey, and we're back, Cody. Here we go. 12 points down, going into the 4th. I like my odds. Yeah, it's
I
Carson.
knew he was
It's
gonna
Carson
do
Wentz.
something.
It's Carson Wentz. Let's be fair.
Jonathan Taylor touchdown
See?
has been just fine.
Now,
we're taking,
now me
20.
playing
We're
Marquise
taking
over
that 20.
Stephon
You want to make
Diggs
it 40?
looks a little bit better.
Yeah, it does. But anyway.
On Church's side, we touched about it a little bit. Dawson Knox definitely looks for real.
Yep.
And DK Metcalf,
Fine.
how do you think his volume gets affected with Russell out now?
I think DK is the one to have because I think Tyler Lockett's value is in the fact that Russell Wilson is one of the best deep ball throwers the game's ever seen.
See, and that's the way that I was inclined. I think Cody feels a little different, though.
I feel like Gino's going to take a lot of gambles. And I think the volume of Lockett will go up.
I think Gino could take a lot of gambles, but when you're gambling, I'm gonna gamble on the big-bodied monster receiver in the contested catch. Then I'm gonna gamble on
The guy that has to have separation.
yeah, and timing. His routes over the middle of the field that Lockett hits on these crossing routes, it's timing
Yep.
with Russell Wilson. What's going on?
Failed 2-point attempt, but he's saying that he extended and got it, so we're going to look again.
All right, let's see here. Nope, you didn't.
Nope.
All right, elbow down on the half-inch line, half-yard line.
Hey, can we talk about this right in the middle so maybe people will listen to this? Are you guys going to bring in anybody else to...
We will. I think we will. Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe
there's
next
already
week?
a couple people that have shown interest that we could easily extend an invitation. So
Yeah.
I know that Jake Strozzi has expressed desire to be in it, as has Alan Taylor, who's been trying to shift around some days at work.
This is Dave.
As is Dave.
Maybe we could bring in the roommates together to make it easy on them, carpool-wise. Huh?
If you guys are open, this is your invitation for next Monday. Well, not next Monday unless you guys are doing it somewhere else. I will not be here next Monday.
Oh, you're not in on next Monday.
But we can figure out these logistics.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. But we will bring people in. We've been talking about doing it all year long. So, anyway, anything else to say about this matchup? Stinker for DJ Moore, but I mean, Sam Darnold came back down to earth hard.
Yeah, he did.
Terrible. Crushed me this week, but I still ended up taking the dub over Dave.
Well, since Atlanta's coming back to the States, Calvin Ridley will be involved again.
Yeah.
So
she's got to. If she keeps getting this strange production out of her running backs, then honestly, I feel like
Kareem Hunt
cannot
is a better
continue.
option. Yeah.
But it is it has continued for 3 straight weeks.
Yeah.
If she can keep doing that, she's gonna keep winning.
It's true.
Because she's got hella wide receivers. So
Only other comment that I would like to make on this game is on behalf of the entire league, Cody, suck it.
suck it.
I would like to point out that Jake apparently speaks for the entire league.
Yeah.
Well, he at least speaks for me because I second the suck it.
Anybody who would like to participate, that was for you.
Okay.
All right, next matchup. What we got? All right, the old dumpster fire itself. It's still a dumpster fire in Chicago, so we're gonna keep that name. And you know what? It was really fun winning as the Chicago dumpster fire when Dave, the Chicago fan himself, was literally viewing a Chicago win that still reinforced the fact that it's a dumpster fire in Chicago.
Yeah.
It was very fun for me.
John Gruden's last game in the NFL.
It's fantastic. Historical. It had all the context of a great win. And you know what? We almost made 100. We were literally 2 yards short. And that sucked. But Michael Pittman is putting up a game on my bench, which is nice to see. I had a lot of points on my bench this week. Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman. Cortland Sutton looking like he's in tune with old Teddy Biscuits out there. We'll see how that continues when Jerry Jeudy comes back. But, Cortland Sutton, had quite the end of the year. Was it last year or was he injured last year? I think it was the end of last year where he really came alive. And Teddy's an accurate quarterback, so we'll see if they can continue that.
You're in trouble at quarterback. After last week putting up 31 with Sammy, Trey getting
There's a lot of
being
options.
on a garbage offense,
I think I have more of a quarterback than you, and I got Kirk Cousins.
We got some moves in the works, folks. Never to fear.
So he acknowledges. He acknowledges that he is weak at quarterback.
There's some shaking and baking going on in the old league right now. Anyway, I just watched Talladega Nights recently. Fantastic movie.
When you're losing a running back this week too,
That hurts.
You'll probably get McCaffrey back next week though, so that's a really good thing.
But then I lose Chuba, so who's my RB2? We're going to be on the waiver wires this week, and I hope I can get one of them guys. There's a lot of running backs on waivers this week, folks. Pay attention. There's at least 3 or 4 solid options. Sammy is not the guy, which kind of sucks because he was playing really well, and he had a Sam Darnold week this week.
He did.
Against a bad team, too.
Yeah.
Inexplicably.
That game was strange. He looked awful.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been doing great this year.
Yeah, he missed guys left and right.
He Sam Darnold it, and this is what I say to you. Once a Sam Darnold, always a Sam Darnold. You know?
That's a weird...
You told me that about Daniel Jones, too. You're like, once a Daniel Jones,
well, Daniel Jones is trash, so you're right about that.
Well, so is Sam Darnold. Come on, let's be real.
I don't know if he is.
We watched him for 2 years in New York be terrible.
Whoa. Adam Gase, sir. Can we talk about that?
He still was terrible.
This is the only week that he's put up less than 19 points, though. And
Let's chill out.
We'll give him one more shot, guys. But let's be real. That hurt.
I mean, he's had 5 rushing touchdowns, padding his stats too. So in Patrick's defense, if he doesn't get those, he can have
just the people that you choose to ignite with Jalen Hurts, and then you wet blanket a Sam Darnold.
Jalen Hurts has the floor every week because when they're losing, he's going to run the ball. And that's why you want a quarterback who runs the ball. Anyway, Chuba put up another solid week. He was the only bright spot on that offense the whole game. Deontay, thought it was going to be a huge week for Deontay when he opened the game with a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And then he caught one pass.
Yeah.
Because it was Chase Claypool day on the other side of the ball. He had one touchdown, 130 yards for Dave. That's nice to see, especially with Juju going down. I think Claypool is going to be very active.
You think Ben's got a chip on his shoulder from all the shit that's been thrown his way this year?
I don't know, man. I don't know if he can just withstand another season.
He threw 2 great deep balls in that game.
They were spot on, perfectly in stride, way downfield.
But then he probably went out drinking about it.
Maybe, because he is a bonehead.
We drink on it.
He is a bonehead.
Yeah, he eats curbs for lunch, man.
There's a lot of rumors around that man getting traded, by the way.
Yep.
Marlon Mack. If you wanted to take a flyer, Marlon Mack might be on another team
They don't
soon.
have room for 3 of them.
No, they don't. And he's number 3, and he's a solid running back.
Absolutely.
When he was the
He
lead
showed
back.
flashes of greatness for a couple weeks.
You know where I'd like to see
Yeah.
Marlon Mack? I'd like to see him in Arizona.
I think James Conner is solid enough for them. No, Marlon Mack, I
Marlon
think.
Mack better.
I think Marlon Mack ends up in. You could see Marlon Mack in New York as a depth piece.
Yeah.
You could see Marlon Mack in either New York team as a depth piece. I doubt the Jets because they got a rookie, Michael Carter.
As long as we're talking trades, a lot of rumors about Deshaun Watson going to Miami.
It would make sense. That could save their season
Yeah.
because
that
they're
could,
full free fall right now.
that could save his career.
Yeah, Dolphins want to win. They're willing to give up a little bit more. Texans' required price is going to drop a little bit as the trade deadline gets closer and closer.
Yep.
It might just happen.
Also, they were thinking.
I do want to see Deshaun back in the league.
Yeah, terrible person, but
Awful person,
you know,
but as
fun
an
to watch play.
as an entertainment piece,
Hey, we're
it's
all
like R. Kelly. I still like his music.
on Joe Mixon's side now, and he went through a phase with that too. So
Yeah.
don't forget.
And we're all
Yeah, I had
and we
Jimmy
all like
during
watching
that time.
Antonio Brown. Look what he did. You know?
That's true. I'm not having dinner with these people.
Kareem
I'm
Hunt
watching them on TV.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt punching people out.
kicking girls in
Yeah.
hotel hallways.
How bad does Ray Rice feel now, by the way? Everybody's getting second chances, and Ray Rice has lost his entire
Dude, you
career.
saw that video. He had to lose his career.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst one.
That was probably. Come
There was
on.
no probably. He
Like,
straight
that
knocked
looks
her.
like
He
a
straight
Mike
knocked her out.
Tyson.
He cold cocked that woman.
Straight knocked her out, and then what made it worse is he dragged her into the elevator.
His body.
Good
yeah.
lord.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
That was
fuck Ray Rice. Who cares?
Ray
I'm
Rice.
just having flashbacks to the video. Jamar Chase, put on your big boy
Ruh-roh.
pants. God damn,
Yeah, Jamar Chase is incredible.
fantastic.
And Burrow, again, we touch on it every week, but they just have a connection, and it is.
Yeah, he
Thing
chucks
that is.
that ball up to Jamar
Can
Chase.
can Joe Burrow take his future into account though, please?
Oh my God.
Dude, how many there was 3 plays in that game where I was like, oh, he's dead. No, there was a play where he,
The concussion one was not even from him being hit. He somersaulted and smacked his face on the turf.
Ugh.
well, he was running, and then Darnell Savage comes out, and he's like, is he really not going to slide? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And just annihilates his legs.
Spun around, his legs got caught on another guy, and then his face planted.
Oh,
He
it
said
was-
3 times.
It
in
was
the play.
bad.
It's like it was like a 3rd and 7. You could tell he wanted the first down, but not at that price. That's a $40 million decision.
There was several plays this last weekend where you remember how much less athletic quarterbacks are than stud defensive players.
And then you watch Josh Allen hurtle over a defender to the complete contrary of that.
Yes.
Because Josh Allen is different.
I know he had hops.
Oh, he's
I
like
knew he was
230 and 6'4", 230. That's
He's a
different.
different human.
But when you're Daniel Jones and you're going up against a linebacker and you get flattened like a pancake, you remember. And even Trey Lance tried to go head to head with I think it was Isaiah Simmons. And Isaiah Simmons actually got injured on that play, but he got stonewalled. Got blasted at the goal line.
Hardest hit I saw this week was on your tight end, Mr. Kelsey, because that man got.
That was a dirty hit, by the way,
Oh, it was.
know.
Absolutely. I mean, they threw a flag on it, right?
by Mr. Hometown man Poyer. Astoria
who it
boy.
We just
Yeah.
lost 4 viewers.
Yeah, sorry guys. But it was a dirty play. I like Jordan Porter because he's a hometown boy, but you know.
Defensive receiver and just helmet to helmet, all the best.
Poyer is
not what we wanna
from
see.
Astoria.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is. Played for Astoria High School.
Huh.
Anyway, love having Alexander Madison on my team. Mr. Cool Guy Allen, if you want
Rocket
him,
ship.
come with somebody real. Don't bring me trash. Alexander Madison is probably the best backup running back in the league this year.
Don't
Well, I'm
come at
just
me with
saying,
trash.
don't come at me with trash,
Don't
dude.
come at me with trash.
You know, he won
Step
me.
up your trade game, Alan.
He
You're coming
won
up
me-
with trash.
He won me 2 weeks this year, dude. I'm not giving him up for nothing. Sorry.
Sorry.
Especially how much Dalvin Cook gets hurt.
I
Dude.
mean, you're winning, not even putting up triple digits though. So if you know,
Hey, a win is a win, Cody.
let's consider it.
And I think you should know that with
If you'd
that,
been
with
playing
that
this,
big L on
this
your
week,
record
I'd
this
still
week.
be undefeated. Just saying.
Yeah, but guess what? I wasn't. So, you know what? We were playing Dave. And you know what? As you said last week, to quote the words that you yourself uttered, you win who you're up against.
You win who you're up against. That's what I said.
You said you
It's
beat.
true.
Good
You
English.
beat. You beat. You beat who they put in front of you.
up against.
You beat who they put in front of you, folks. That's what he said. You know what I mean. Moving on. Dave. Well, we should talk about Dave's
If you
team.
played against me, you'd still be losing.
You know what they say, folks? You win your opponent against.
By one.
Yeah, you know what they say, folks.
You beat
You
up
win.
on you who you brought.
You are who they've done thought you were.
You gotta dance with the one you lost to.
You gotta dance with the shoes you brought.
And scene.
Anyway, Dave had a stinker out of Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, which is the only way he wins any week. Let's be honest.
It's true. Let's be real. The 2 weeks he's had, he's gotten 50-plus points from the two of them.
Chase Edmonds is not the guy to have in Arizona. Apparently, it's James Conner.
Hunter Renfrow being in the starting lineup concerns me too.
Yeah. But, we like Hunter Renfrow, so we root for him.
We like him as an NFL player, but as a fantasy player, it's shit.
It's rough. He's like the Cole Beasley. He's Cole Beasley of the Raiders.
Yeah, he's very talented, and he shouldn't be on your fantasy roster.
Yep. Exactly. But you know what?
He's got 2 touchdowns. He could be a plug-and-play, but flex at best.
And 10
On some bye
over 10
weeks.
the last 2 weeks, too. I can't,
Yeah.
He had a solid 2-game streak there going, so.
Cole Beasley should be worth a lot more being in Buffalo.
It's Manny Sanders stole his value. That's what it is. And Dawson Knox as well.
And just, man, looking at Dave's bench, there ain't nobody to sub out. Because we talked about Ronald Jones being nothing. Austin Hooper doesn't exist. Joe Burrow's a crazy man. He's never going to start over Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Landry will be really good when he comes back, but I don't know what that timetable looks like.
Yeah.
Dave's in trouble.
And Baker's dealing with a torn labrum, and he's probably going to play through it. So he's going to be kind of like 80% Baker, which is not what I want throwing the ball to my wide receivers.
Yeah, maybe he'll run less though.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, but that offense obviously moves through its running backs.
It's true.
They had 3-4 touchdowns last week. But anyway,
always impressive ones too.
Yeah, the Cleveland running game is so fun to watch.
Yeah, both running backs putting up over 20 points this week.
Yeah, you didn't get Kareem Hunted this week.
I did, but my guy still got his too. So
yeah, they did fine.
23 points, just barely edged them out, which is not what you want. I want all 43 of those points.
You want the Derrick Henry production?
Yes.
You know what I'm excited to see is what Jalen Waddle's going to do when Tua comes back. I think Jalen Waddle's going to have a nice second half of his year, and it would be real nice if Deshaun Watson ends up there.
There you go.
Because
I think you'll have a nice wide receiver 3 the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's tough.
I think Jalen Waddle is a hell of a talent, and he's just in a bad situation.
Oof, that was a one-handed catch by Andrews right there.
Well, we got to do something here because my $20 is on the line, boys.
So's my 50.
Yeah. Oh, you bet on this game too, huh?
Yeah.
Cody's just out here trying to make a tidy fucking.
Cody.
Why would you make that assumption?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good thing.
If Mark Andrews scores a touchdown,
Last one.
Is this last one? I thought we didn't do yours. Oh no, this is
This
yours.
is it.
Just a heads up.
It just says loaded to the face now.
Okay. Nice.
I'm 2 weeks of my 4-week punishment, so.
We'll let you lead this one off, Jake. It's your matchup.
My team looks aggressively average. I was just outdone. I had a chance coming into Sunday night's game, Sunday afternoon game, and then Eckler just went off in the fourth quarter. I think he got at least 2 of his 3 touchdowns within the last 15 minutes of that game, and that's what buried me.
Did you see the play where the Browns literally picked him up and threw him into the end zone because they needed the ball back?
I missed it. I fell asleep.
He was trying to not score because they were trying to run the clock out.
Yeah.
Oh,
The only chance Cleveland had, and they were
so
going to be
Cleveland
within.
chucked him in.
They literally picked him up and threw him in the end zone.
Wow.
It was hilarious, but yeah, it was one of those classic Todd Gurley moments.
Yeah, my team looks pretty flat
Mark
across
Andrews
the
is
board.
trying to change the game for.
Chris Carson became a late game scratch Thursday afternoon, so I lost arguably my best running back. Chubb put up some points. Dak did what Dak does and just kind of a steady 20 points this week. But my team looks even a little better on the stat sheet than they really were because Mike Davis got a garbage touchdown in the final minutes. That boosted it a little bit. My team just looks like it's heading in the wrong direction. And then Bailey puts up 115 points. She's putting up good numbers every week. She's only got a 2-3 record now, but she's got a pretty good team.
She's got a good team. CeeDee Lamb, nice to see him back on the board.
There are some games where the Dallas Cowboys just run the ball, y'all. And during those games, her team is going to look weird.
It's going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
But
that's why you don't take two wide receivers on the same team.
Both caught a touchdown, which was another interesting part. I had Dalton Schultz in there who dropped one touchdown ball that might have changed the momentum of this because I think Cooper came through.
I think you're right.
And got it that same drive.
That one play might have swung this whole thing the other way.
Yeah, there's a 20 points spread on this game, but it was very, very close for a very long time.
If not that Bailey listens to this or, hope she does, but not that she does listen to this or even wants or cares about my advice, but to be honest with you, like to cut down on your ability to just get totally like railroaded by the Cowboys running the ball, as Cody just said, like trade one of those guys.
Yeah.
Go get a
because everybody will trade for him.
Of course they will. Like who doesn't want CD? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, and you could go get another piece. You have enough options.
Hey guys, this Mark Andrews touchdown might actually swing one of our games.
Should we go back and check it out? Where we at?
Yeah, it's he.
Oh
yeah,
shit! It did.
It did.
Oh,
we had a 1%er swing.
Mr. Jake with the pulling it out of his butt on the back of Mark Andrews.
Getting it average.
What an upset! That hurts, Todd.
Smokes, Todd loses.
That hurts, Todd.
Took 19 points to do it.
To Mark Andrews. The best. It's the best game Mark Andrews had all year.
Jake Strozzi.
Above average Jakes.
You're not gonna get that every week out of Mark Andrews, but you know what? You like it when you do.
I think we're on the verge of a name change. It's the above average Jakes.
I feel like we gotta make it above average, Jake. You're above 500. That's above average territory.
Are trending in the right direction.
Making some moves and making it work. Mark Andrews just got a 2-point conversion to rub it in.
Oh, he did.
He just did.
Beautiful.
Now we'll more or less seal it because it will take any risk of losing the lead via fumble.
Yep. Yep.
So,
I think.
Todd, condolences.
Todd getting it taken from him on Monday night.
And honestly, like firmly in the win category, if I was going into Monday night and watching my team, the other team have a tight end that hadn't performed all year, really.
Absolutely.
That sucks.
Man, that's gonna put Todd at 2-3.
Yes,
which is odd.
Swampland.
Todd's in the swamp. He's dirty.
And you know what?
He's dirty. He's got it on him.
You know what? My playoff chances be going up, folks. Anyway,
marginally.
Yeah.
Oh,
we'll see what happens.
Marginally.
We'll see what happens. Shaking and baking.
You what was it you were saying about Darrell Williams? I did not get to watch much of the Chiefs game because I was at work, but I did manage to add him via a little bit of fortune.
What I wanted to say about your team, I was just taking a little peek at your bench there, and while I do think Tyler Lockett's going to take
a little peek at your bench.
I was Tyler Lockett. I got some good vernacular over here. Tyler, yeah. You see, sometimes I pull out a nice big word like that. I went to college.
Vernacular.
I went to college. Anyway, Tyler Lockett, I think, takes a hit with Geno. We'll see, but I think he does. You're gonna have Chris Carson back at some point. Obviously, that's a better option than Mike Davis, clearly. But the other thing is, I think you're gonna be able to throw Darrell Williams in your flex most weeks because I think that Clyde's gonna be out 2-3 weeks. And you know what? There's a chance that Darrell Williams gets in that role
and
he keeps the job because Clyde has not been that great.
Well, you know what a Chiefs team at 2-3 does? It makes you reevaluate and maybe spice things up a little bit.
Yeah. And the other reason why you like Darrell Williams a little bit more is the fact that Tyreek Hill might be out next week. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to run the ball more.
Wow.
And also, what happens if Josh Gordon gets involved, guys?
I don't want to talk about it.
What happens if Josh Gordon becomes a guy?
Well, maybe Josh Gordon
smoke a joint and get kicked back out of the league. We all know the story.
But if you get the Josh Gordon week, it's real fun.
For weed anymore.
So Josh Gordon's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
until he gets, booked on like a gun trafficking charge or some shit.
Oh God.
He gets the old what's his face in New York.
Plaxico
gets the old Plaxico Burress.
Shoots himself in the foot.
Literally.
Hey.
We like it. Anyway. Darnell Mooney's going to be good with Justin Fields. That's the wide receiver to have in Chicago, unfortunately, for my team.
That's weird.
He's the guy that he has the relationship with.
It's weird.
And Justin Fields has a big arm, and he can hit Darnell Mooney down the field. And so
he can, but he hasn't. He had 1 week where he had double-digit points, and it's been almost non-existent. So.
Play him against a team that's not stacked at corner and doesn't have an amazing pass rush. See what happens.
I can put him in a flex, but even with Geno Smith in, I don't ever want to start Mooney over Tyler Lockett.
That's true.
Just
I mean, the
because of the
potential
potential
of
upside versus the potential zero or non-factor element.
I think you patched a hole there with Dalton Schultz.
I think so too.
Yeah.
They seem to really. I mean, Dak's
In the
always
red
kind of
zone,
towards,
they have used both, and they've been using them often.
Well, I mean, you think about the fact that, like, especially when Gallup comes back, covering those 3 wide receivers.
God, the offense in Dallas is nasty.
They put up 30 points every week, just routine. They don't seem to be making the mistakes. They did a couple times this week, but
Jake's really happy.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't.
Of course, I mean, I would be happy if I won
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I didn't check those messages.
Yeah.
Holy smokes! What a Monday night for Jake.
no kidding.
Well, how crazy would it be if now the other Allen gets some more production out of JTT, then it goes into overtime?
Oh man.
That would be crazy if that one swung too. But it's not going to swing because Lamar's putting up points too. Yeah, that one's out of reach.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely is.
Fortunately for the other Allen, that's out of reach. Do we want to do anything else on your team or Bailey's team?
Unless you guys have any notes, I feel like we touched pretty much all of it.
It hurts that Aaron Jones is split time.
Yeah.
That is rough for Bailey. If that continues, that's rough for Bailey. I don't know that it does continue. I wonder if there is something that Aaron Jones is dealing with.
Coming through again.
Oh, shit.
He's so good.
I mean, yeah. He's finally showing up.
In a big way.
Yeah, he is.
He looks like him and James Robinson look like the 2 most talented running backs in the league right now. I would say.
It's Derrick Henry.
Okay, yeah.
Head and shoulders.
Easy. Derrick Henry
Yeah.
number 1.
Easy.
Not even close. It's Derrick Henry 1, 2, and 3, and then we can count somebody as 4th. Because nobody's close to that man.
Thank you.
He's the whole offense. That's the whole offense in Tennessee. Because you don't have Julio. A.J. Brown did nothing. Tannehill looks bad.
Production-wise, you may be right. But just
Agreed.
from a standpoint of watching the talent, they just look untouchable. They look like they're
You can't do that, Carson. You know that.
on a different field than everybody else.
They're going to call a horse collar. It's fucking dorks. Anyway,
There's a handful
it cost me
of running backs in the
$20.
league that can just make professional defensive athletes look like schmucks on a regular basis. And Jonathan Taylor's one of them.
yes. I would say, well, okay. So normally we do like positive, negative players, like we were saying, but do we want to do one like, do we want to do this week maybe a different segment of like who we think like the best running backs are first 5 games of the year? I mean, we said Derrick Henry. Who else is a surprising running back through the first 5 weeks? I mean, for me, I gotta say, I think Zeke has silenced a lot of doubters this year so far.
I was doubting him. He's my boy.
Yeah,
I
mean,
know.
he looks good, and he's putting up numbers. You know, obviously you have the backs out there in Cleveland that are doing work. You guys talk a little bit. I just named a bunch. What do you guys got?
I'm trying to pull the stats. Who do you think's at the top for the running backs besides you, Mr. Henry?
Zeke is looking not only like the numbers are there, but they're going to continue at this point. The way that they can control, I mean, just having a guy in Dallas and having a guy who has that much talent, who has such a nose for the end zone.
And they don't even have Lale Collins.
Yeah.
Imagine when they have Lale
Because
Collins.
he doesn't have a guy.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Yeah, he doesn't have a guy.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, I think my next 2 might be both the Cleveland running backs.
Yeah. Cleveland run offense.
Yeah, like
Just in
Kareem
general.
Hunt or Nick Chubb. Pick
Either one.
If you look at the top running backs, like in order, out of the top 5, out of the top 6, Kareem Hunt and Cordell Patterson are in the top 5. Cordell Patterson's number 5 running back.
I gotta.
Point-wise.
That's pretty crazy. And I know that you had that one monster game, but like you have to put up other numbers to go along with that to be in that group. And
It's number 3.
The Cleveland's running game is so good. They have the number 4 and the number 6 running back on their team.
surprises.
Eckler's a fantastic value this year too.
Especially because he loves fantasy football.
Yeah.
He game plans around it. I mean, it's all about getting you points.
Yeah. And he's smart to do that too because he will make money because of that. It'll drive jersey sales. It'll drive. Yeah, I mean,
that's a man looking out for his brand.
Yeah, I mean, and like, it's not stupid. Like, I mean, obviously your main focus is like being a good NFL player for your team, but if you're also well, I mean, the main reason why you're playing football, other than the fact that like you love playing football, is you're trying to make money. Like, obviously.
Absolutely.
So, like, if you can make all this money on the side by all these fantasy players loving you, like, and also, you might even get a little bit of career longevity out of the fact that the team knows that you will drive revenue.
Yeah, because they just moved cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're selling jerseys, and you're bringing attention and excitement to the team. Mm-hmm. I mean, and they have an exciting team.
They do.
Good Lord, their offense is exciting.
Heading in the right direction.
And you know who we are missing that moved over to that team in the offseason? That, like, the Packers are bringing in Jalen Smith, which is nice. It's going to help our defense. But
treat him well.
Why are we losing Corey Linsley in the offseason? Pro ball center. We let him go to L.A., you know? Just terrible cap management for the Packers. But anyway,
another surprising running back, though, would fit both themes of positive player. DeAndre Swift in the top 12 running backs.
Just gets a lot of passing work.
Garbage Detroit team. It's true, but fantasy, that's what you want.
Yeah, it's very valuable. I mean, it's just so much easier to come up with yards when you're given the ball in the open field and you don't have to negotiate all those big boys in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, you had DeAndre Swift as a running back one coming into this season because that's what he's been for 5 weeks.
I mean, he's an uber talented. I mean, you look at his shiftiness, his speed, his pass catching ability. Like, he's on par. I mean, I think you put DeAndre Swift out there in LA, and he could put up similar numbers to Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Easily, if not better, honestly, because DeAndre Swift might even be a better athlete than Austin Eckler.
Think about putting him in the other LA team.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, look at what Darrell Henderson's done,
right?
And like, Darrell Henderson was like the definition of just a guy.
He's a good guy to have.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's not just a guy because like he is very athletic and he has a lot of speed and burst through the hole, but like he's not a mega superstar running back.
He doesn't seem special at all.
No,
but as a LA Ram,
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, but he every week that man almost goes down to an injury, and so I just gotta say that. You know, like I said, if we're talking waiver wire targets, like Sony Michel needs to be on somebody's team.
Yeah.
You know, just saying.
Got dropped this last week too.
Yeah, inexplicably. I don't know what you're doing there, Dave, but
you know, you sure on someone else.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I mean, he needs to pick up a lot of somebody else's.
I just feel like why are we doing that when just save your waiver wire priority for a week like this when you have Saquon down, you have Clyde down. I mean, Clyde's backup is already taken here by Mr. Loads to the face. But
thanks for throwing me this.
well, you got to call it what it is. But anyway, I don't want to give away all the info to everybody. Go do the research yourself, folks. There's a lot of running backs available on waivers this week. And there's a one Mr. Tony the Pony out there in New York that I think is going to be a great wide receiver as well. Anything else, gentlemen, before we watch the end of this fantastic game that's developing in front of us?
Let's just briefly touch on next week's matchup. Do you want to pick one of these and give me a prediction on who you think is going to pull it out?
Well, I think I'm going to take down these nuts. Because Mr. Saquon D's nuts is going to be Saquonless. And so those nuts will be unprotected.
That was rough.
Yeah, but he's got TB12, 2 years Sam Darnold, so that could make up for that.
Oh, we got some things in the works, folks. Don't worry about the quarterback.
Always shaking and baking.
So your projection for next week is based off of a trade that may or may not happen?
Shake.
Because that seems sketchy as fuck.
Patrick. And bake.
That's what he's banking on. That's what he's banking on, Brett.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry about me.
I'm worried about you.
Yeah, well, you know what? 2 wins in a row there, Mr. 4-1. Anyway. Hey.
Cody, is there one of these matchups looks intriguing to you?
You
got the Battle of the Jakes. You got
The Battle of Jake sounds fun.
You're going against Mr. Taylor himself.
Yeah, I mean the two best records in the league are still facing off. If you're gonna pick a prime time matchup, that's the one that gets the
America's Game of the Week.
Okay, we'll
It would be.
Give me a little breakdown there.
Well, the breakdown is he's got a quarterback. I don't. I've got the dirtiest show on turf, Derrick Henry. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor, Jamal Williams. Terry McLaurin had a bad week, and he doesn't have a lot of bad weeks.
But he's going against the Kansas City defense.
Yeah, so he's probably going to have a good one. Godwin's not questionable. He's probably going to get in on some of that action. I don't know.
He had a day of rest just because of an ankle.
He's going to have Mixon back, most likely.
Yeah.
Against Detroit.
Yeah, so I think that I've got some dirty birds that need to perform. And by dirty birds, I mean the Arizona Cardinals.
Against Cleveland.
Yeah. So.
Hey, at least if Murray's numbers go to Hopkins, which is no sure thing, you can cut into him.
I think this one looks good for you. It
Which
really
one's
depends
that?
on what
We
happens.
got a Calais Campbell blocked field goal.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful
My
stuff.
bet is looking good, and so is yours, Jakes.
It's
All right,
pretty
folks. Should we wrap this up? We got a game to watch here.
better.
There's money on the line.
Yeah.
Week 5 in the books. What a week it was, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in next week. We might have a guest. Calais Campbell flexing like a beast as we speak. What a large man he is. Anyway, signing off.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed.